Ukrainian army shoots down Russian helicopter. Great danger awaiting Russia in the Black Sea. Hello, the Pioneer viewers. As you know, our agenda is the Russia-Ukraine war. The war continues on the front line in all its reality. Developments at the front gives many clues about the future of the war. The behavior of soldiers can vary in war conditions. There is no denying the difficulty of managing a large group of people, but the best way to control crowds is discipline. And discipline can be achieved through a sound military system. Military losses and dangers during the war processes need to be taken into an account. An army needs to determine its combat losses and plan for future. We know that war has multidimensional consequences. At this point, it is up to the parties to calculate the possibilities and take strong steps towards the future. Following Russia's invasion attempt against Ukraine, many developments took place. These developments sometimes involved major operations. Sometimes they revealed secret intelligence information. Throughout the war, both sides have suffered and continue to suffer losses. Many developments and events such as the targeting of strategic regions and the power struggle in the Black Sea continues. A recent development has added new ones to Russia's war losses. A Russian helicopter was shot down in an attack organized by the Ukrainian army. Shortly after this incident, a report was published describing the dangers awaiting the Russian army in the Black Sea. Recent developments bring negative news for the Russian army. The Russian army needs to correct these conditions and make a different breakthrough in the coming days. Now, if you're ready, let's examine the downed Russian helicopter and the dangers awaiting the Russian army in the Black Sea. As the Pioneer, we continue to report on Russia-Ukraine war. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so that you don't miss our daily map reports and reports on the agenda. I also read all your comments on our videos. Please continue to share your ideas about our content in the comments with us. Let's start if you are ready. The Pioneer reports. Recently, the Ukrainian army carried out an attack. A Russian helicopter was shot down in the attacks carried out by the Ukrainian army. Images of the Ukrainian attack were shared by thousands of people in a short time. The Ukrainian army's military communication platform announced on social media that the Ukrainian armed forces destroyed a Russian Mi-8 helicopter near the city of Liman in the eastern Donetsk region. The helicopter was hit by the Ukrainian artillery and crashed to the ground in flames. Liman is not far from the fighting lines on the Donetsk Strip, which stretches from the destroyed town of Bakhmut to the Kupiansk. In the fall of 2022, the Kiev's major counteroffensive, Ukrainian forces retook Liman for Russian troops. But the key railway hub suffered significant damage. The Ukrainian army has repaired the damage and strengthened defensive positions in the area. In the statements made by the Ukrainian army, important information about the pre-attack period was shared. Ukrainian army reconnaissance vehicles carried out reconnaissance activities in the region for a long time. Ukrainian unmanned aerial vehicles detected the Russian helicopter in the region while conducting reconnaissance flights. The Ukrainian army immediately pressed the button for the operation after the helicopter was detected. HIMARS systems, the powerful and effective weapons of the Ukrainian army, were active in the region. All that was needed to destroy the target was to fire the missile. The missiles were fired, and the Ukrainian army's HIMARS systems shut down the Russian helicopter. The Russian helicopter went down in flames, and its crew was neutralized. Ukraine often shares footage of its combat attacks, including on Russia's helicopter fleet. In mid-October, the commander of Kiev's ground forces, Colonel General Alexander Syrsky, posted a video showing Ukraine's 25th Separate Airborne Brigade destroying a Russian Mi-8 helicopter. Ukrainian authorities are trying to motivate the Ukrainian people by sharing such images. People affected by the hardships of the war are uplifted by the successes of the Ukrainian army. Growing faith in the Ukrainian army, the Ukrainian people support fighting for their freedom. They say they are ready to do everything in their power to liberate their country from Russian occupation. The Russian helicopter destroyed by the Ukrainian army is known as the Mi-8 model. The Mi-8 helicopter is used by various countries around the world. The helicopter, whose main purpose is to transport troops on the battlefield, has a very expensive cost. The Russian army has lost many Mi-8 helicopters since the first days of the war. The Russian army seems to be quite complaining about the losses it suffered during the war. The Russian army, which continues to run out of resources, is looking for solutions. The logistics problems of the Russian army and the disruption in the supply chain are causing major problems. In addition to these developments, a report published recently says that a great danger awaits the Russian army in the Black Sea. According to the senior advisor to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, Russian naval forces in the Black Sea face a great danger as the Ukrainian army is trying to launch an asymmetric offensive against Moscow's military transportation and infrastructures in the region. The Ukrainian army had significantly destroyed Russian forces in the Black Sea in the effective offensives. As a result of these attacks in the Black Sea, the Russian military abandoned its aggressive behavior by moving its ships to the safer ports. At this point, the Ukrainian army's effective use of weapons such as naval drones and cruise missiles had important consequences. In recent months, Ukrainian attacks have also destroyed important dry dock facilities in the Crimean port of the Sevastopol and particularly destroyed the Black Sea Fleet headquarters building in the city, which for decades has been the center of the Moscow's influence in the region. Some of the Russia's most advanced ships have reportedly left Sevastopol for safer waters. Historically, the Ukrainian military has made moves to counter the Russian presence. The active offensives and defense of the Ukrainian army took the Russian troops by surprise. While the Ukrainian army was defending the southern front, it was shelling Russian targets in Crimea. This situation was incomprehensible for the Russian army. The Ukrainian army continues the strategy it has been implementing since the first days. It seems that the important thing is not to destroy all the soldiers, but destroy all the resources. While the Ukrainian army continues its attacks, the developments on the front line continue to give clues for the upcoming process. What do you think about the Ukrainian army shooting down the Russian helicopter? Do you think the Russian army has suffered major losses since the beginning of the war? How do you interpret the situation of the Russian army? How do you think the strategy of the Ukrainian army can be evaluated? What do you think about the dangers awaiting Russia in the Black Sea? We care about your opinion. Please share it with us.